It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. It's my first time in here.
Yeah, that's true.
We did it on Zoom last time.
We were Zooming, yeah. But I appreciate you doing that because it's hard to. That was a confusing time for the world and hard to get guests and everything. And you actually were great to us. And well, I'm saying that, but to be really honest, you were a little tricky to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because it was interesting. We're talking about Spider-Man: No Way Home, and I asked you if the rumors were true that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield would be in that movie.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I asked you. We were having a conversation, and I asked you, and I obviously trust you, and you trust me, and we
have that kind of relationship.
Yes, we really do have that kind. Well, let's just take a look at what you said. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield might be making a cameo in this movie.
It would be amazing if they were, because they haven't told me that yet, and I am Spider-Man, and I've read the script from beginning to the end. So it would be a miracle if they could have kept that from me. Yeah. But at the moment, there is no cameo from the two boys.
I'd just like to add, though, I did say at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't technically lie. Albeit I had just come from set with Tobey and Andrew.
You totally, without a doubt, professionally lied to us all. But I will say, it was worth it.
Yes, thank you.
I'm actually thankful that you did, because I think we need surprises in this world. We need something to look forward to and go, is that a thing? And when that did happen on screen, I freaked out, everyone flipped out, and we loved it. So,
Mate, I freaked out.
Yeah.
It was the highlight of my career. It was amazing.
Did you freak out? Did you try? What did you do when they were both on set? And were you in a bubble or under? How did you keep this from everybody?
We were in a bubble. We were shooting on set. Everything was on a studio. Tobey and Andrew would come to set in like a cloak.
Yeah.
It was like something out of Star Wars.
Well, like people fit in, we're all walking down the street wearing a cloak.
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's not Tobey Maguire. That's a man dressed like the Grim Reaper walking down the street, yeah.
But it was hilarious, and it was an amazing experience. It was really odd being there with them as a fan of the films from before.
Yeah.
And it was also really interesting because throughout the films, I was at my third film by this point, and I had been requesting a few things with my suit, like I wanted to be able to take my gloves off. I wanted to be able to, like, go to the bathroom without taking the whole suit off.
Yeah, these are things that you learn as
you go.
Yes.
And they said, not possible. We can't do it.
Yeah.
Tobey and Andrew both had those things on their suits.
And they didn't, no one...
Disrespect.
They already had, they lived through, they go, oh, we already had this argument with, there's everything is possible.
Yeah, I learned that you should just put your foot down sometimes.
We're almost to Halloween. What's it like when you see kids dressed as Spider-Man? Do they freak out when they see you?
It's a joy, man. I remember, God, I've been playing Spider-Man for nearly a decade now. Right, so I'm probably 19. Civil War is either coming out or has come out. So what I'm trying to say is like, I knew I was Spider-Man, my family knew I was Spider-Man, but no one else really knew that I was Spider-Man.
Okay.
So we have kids coming to the door, trick-or-treating, like really exciting. The parents are like stood at the driveway, like making sure the kids are safe.
Yep.
Because everything you learn about being a kid goes against trick-or-treating. It's like, don't talk to strangers, don't go to a stranger's house, don't take strangers' food.
Yeah, we're giving
and then
food
all of
to
a sudden,
stay.
it's like, tonight it's fine.
No rules. Yeah.
Right? So the parents are there, and we're waiting for a kid to show up as Spider-Man. Eventually, someone does. My dad calls me down. And I think where I went wrong with this 7-year-old was that I was way more excited than he was. So he's there in his little Spider-Man suit with his bucket.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Spider-Man, hey, how's it going? And he's like, whoa. Just...
It's like, trick or treat, man.
Yeah, just give me the candy, bro, and I'll be on my way.
Yeah, we don't need to have a conversation. Yeah.
To which I then said to him, like, let's me and you have, like, a picture. And then the parents took a big step forward. Like, wait a minute, what did you just say to our little
You want to
kid?
take a picture with my kid?
And I'm giving it like, no, don't worry about it. I'm actually Spider-Man. To which, at that point, they like drag their kid away from my house.
Insane. You know what? We don't need the candy bar. We're gonna walk away. Oh, that's so funny. That kid is probably wishing he took a photo with you. There is some chatter that Spider-Man 4 is happening and that you'll be back as Spider-Man. Now we're here.
What do you want to know?
Now we're here. Now we're here. We're touching. Now we're in the same room. Can we confirm this tonight?
It's happening.
That's my man. That's my man. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. Wow! That's what I'm talking about. That's what you can tell. I love this.
Yeah, next summer we start shooting. Everything's good to go. We're nearly there. Super exciting.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I can't
You
wait.
are so good and so you're perfect for that role.
Thank you.
Good actor, also very charming, and just I love it. But also I have kids, and they love you so much.
Thank you so much.
You're just everybody in the cast. It's great. Good. I'm happy to hear that. Also, who's a fan of yours is Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, big fan.
Yes, he's a big fan of yours. We love Timothy. He's been on the show a bunch of times. He recently made a flattering statement about you. We have the clip. Let's take a look at this.
Timothée Chalamet is better looking than Tom Holland.
Oh man, y'all going for the sauce! I'm going strongly disagree on that. Tom is the ultimate Riz master. Internet knows this, Zendaya knows this, everyone knows this.
Yeah.
Ultimate Riz master.
Now. Do you agree? Let me ask you the question. Do you agree, is Tom Holland the ultimate Riz master?
I'd have to say I strongly agree.
I want to talk about this. This is a big kind of cool thing you're doing now. It's a non-alcoholic beer.
Yes.
It's called Beero. It is quality, by the way.
Thank you.
Explain to me how you got here and what is this?
So, I got sober.
Okay.
And it was a tricky road, and it was something that I really needed to do. And, as any celebrities, there's always opportunities to go down the commercial route and build brands and do all that sort of stuff. And I'd never found anything that I was particularly passionate about. And then when I got sober and I'd kind of got through my first year, which was for me a massive milestone and a huge achievement, I started thinking about...
It's a tough thing.
Yeah, it needed to happen.
It did.
And I, had some very honest conversations with family and friends and got through it, did that first year.
How'd you started with a full year sober?
I tried to start with a month off, and what really scared me is how difficult I found it.
Yeah.
And then I did a second month, it got no easier. I did a third month, and then I sort of said, if I can get to June 1st, which is my birthday, I will have proved to myself that I don't have a problem. Yeah. And then by the time I got to June 1st, I really started feeling the benefits of not drinking. I was sleeping better, I was handling stuff better, and I kind of thought, the thing that's missing from the equation for me right now is something that can make me feel included in a restaurant, in a bar. There isn't quite the product that I need. Yeah. So I just thought, why don't I try and build my own?
Yeah.
And 2 years later, here we are.
Yeah, so I think it's great.
Thank you.
So how does one do this? How does one go about making their own non-alcoholic beer?
Well, I asked my agents, I sort of said, can you guys look around and see if anyone would be interested in, setting something like this up with me? A day later, they called up. I'm like, there are people who are very interested. So I, flew out to New York. I was in this boardroom, and I was meeting with all these people and was kind of pitching the idea of what I wanted to do. They seemed eager, and we got to work. We started tasting things. The first 6 rounds were absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
And then we finally got something.
You really got in there.
Yeah, we were tasting, we were sampling, we were trying everything that was out on the market.
I have to try this. What did you bring
let's
with?
crack it
What'd
open.
you bring with you? There's 2 different types here.
So you have the Pilsner. Kingston Pilsner is where I was born, not Pilsner. Kingston.
Yeah.
It's like a lager. And then this, for me, is my favorite. The Edge Hill IPA is just your standard IPA.
Let's see what's
The biggest thing for me that I wanted to try and create... Well, you're stressing me out with that.
Whew. I mean, I'm not saying I poured it better,
Yeah, it's
but
perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
look at that. Come on. Cheers! Congrats
Cheers,
on your
pal.
sobriety. Congrats
Thank
on
you,
your
thank
new
you.
product, by the way. Beer. That is fantastic. Tom Holland, everybody. Biro is available now at Biro Brewing. BiroBrewing.com. More with Tom Holland after the break. Stick around, everybody.